Hypno2 and welcome to Las Vegas. Today we are heading inside of the Luxor Resort, one of the most recognizable resorts in all of the city. Located on the south end of Las Vegas Boulevard, right in between Excalibur and Mandalay Bay, is this iconic resort with a 30-story pyramid as its facade. You can't miss or forget about this themed out hotel. Luxor opened in 1993 when themed hotels were all the hype here in Vegas. Having a fantasy hotel that took you to a different place was a must in the 90s, and the Luxor did an incredible job at just that. The Luxor was definitely one of my top 3 resorts when I was a kid coming to Las Vegas. There's a lot of reasons why I loved this resort, but the theming is up there with a Disney status, or at least was back in the 90s. To this day, I loved themed hotels, and Luxor is still a pretty decent and fun resort even now with all the upgraded competition on the strip. You can also utilize the free monorail that will take you from Mandalay Bay to Luxor to Excalibur, which is super handy to get you a little bit closer to the busier part of the strip. As you can see, the area that I'm in right now, no one is around me. You will find hotel rooms within the glass pyramid, but Luxor also has rooms located in the 2 connected towers. Then at nighttime, you can see the Luxor beam throughout the Las Vegas Valley, especially when you have a higher viewpoint of the whole strip, or when you're coming in or driving in from the 15 freeway. I'm actually pretty excited about heading in there. It's been a couple years since I've been inside, and this resort is super nostalgic to me. So let's go! Walking up through the front doors from the boulevard, and you'll start to enter the world of Luxor, with large Sphinx sculptures on each side of the walkway leading up to the massive statue that greets you as you walk in, which is kind of giving me that old MGM Lionhead entrance vibes. This is still so cool. The theming has toned down significantly since I was a kid, but it's still a really fun resort. When you walk in from Las Vegas Boulevard, you'll see the front desk check-in area. You can also walk into the casino from here or even head upstairs to the Atrium. At the opening of this resort, it was the tallest hotel on the strip, which I feel like I say that every time I talk about a hotel opening. They are always popping up a little taller than the next. As I mentioned before, the early 90s was a really fun year in Las Vegas with all of the fantasy hotels popping up all over the boulevard. Luxor, Treasure Island, and the new MGM Resort opened all within weeks of each other, so there was a ton of excitement in town. This was also the family era of Las Vegas, a time where kids like me had a ton of fun and a ton of stuff to do around town, which is really wild to think about because nowadays, even though there's still a lot of family-friendly things to do in Las Vegas, it's definitely not the focus anymore. There's a few bars around the resort. The Central Bar, I think, is their sort of main bar. There's a couple of bars around the casino areas, but this one I do believe they also have live music on Friday and Saturday nights. Basically in the name. In the center of the casino, I don't believe they have a nightclub currently in this resort. They used to have LAX nightclub, which was located where the gaming arena currently is, and that was a 2-story nightclub. Definitely had a lot of celebrities coming to that place. The casino floor is pretty big at 120,000 square feet. It's pretty spacious, and there are a ton of slots and table games, and they do have a sports book here. They renovated the Luxor in 2007, and that's when a lot of the Egyptian theming was taken out for a modern look. The talking camels went away. They used to have 2 talking and moving animatronic camels, and they also had a boat ride that would take you around the resort, which was made to look like the Nile River, and it had random artifacts to look at. They also had a motion ride, and the guy who did that ride also did the Back to the Future ride back at Universal Studios. Right next to the check-in desk is something called Big Chill, which has frozen adult drinks. You guys have to check out this souvenir mug. Look at that! You can drink out of a lighted up pyramid for, well, $29, but it is 70 ounces. I just went up the elevators to the 17th floor. I wanted to see if I can get a good view of the atrium and the levels below us. And this is pretty intimidating because you can see straight down because of the way that it's angled. So I don't know what it was, but that elevator ride made me really queasy. It went really fast. It like shot up to the level that we're on, and it was really, really wobbly. It was like swaying back and forth. So I'll be aware if you get vertigo as easily as I do. And now that we're up here and we're seeing this, can Can you imagine after a long night of drinking? Legitimately having shaky legs right now. Okay, I'm not gonna lean over too much. It always makes me nervous. I'm gonna drop my camera. And let's not do that. But here's the view from the 17th floor and what it looks like as you go up into the pyramid. That's pretty wild, right? We're coming up on Hyper Arena Las Vegas. I believe this used to be esports the last time I was here. Basically the same concept though. So they have competition gaming. You can see all the screens with the keyboards and the headsets all lined up. And I believe in the very, very back there's an actual arena where you can watch. It's kind of neat. I do see pricing here where you can do 1 hour for $15 or you can get a day pass for 8 hours at $50. So you can actually come in and do some gaming. Luxor is part of MGM Resorts. The original owner owned the Excalibur and was the chairman of Circus, which are a few other popular themed hotels. I've been in a standard room before and it was nice. Not the best hotel, but definitely not the worst. It's a budget-friendly room. Room rates start at about mid-30s per night on the slower nights. They also have a spa, fitness center, pool, and salon. Aurora is one of their bars as well. Looks like they have a setup for dueling pianos. I think I saw a sign that says that it takes place on the weekends. They have a decent amount of food options here, including Diablo's Cantina. We've got a public house, which I see pretty often in Vegas. Tender Steakhouse and Lounge is going to be their more upgraded and luxury restaurant. We've got Backstage Deli and Pyramid Cafe, which both has American foods like sandwiches, burgers, salads. There's also a Blitz frozen yogurt and I believe 2 Starbuckses on site. We also will have a food court with a few options. You'll find their buffet is located on the bottom level. I have eaten at this buffet quite a few times and nothing is standing out in my mind whether I liked it or not. So it was probably pretty average, but it's a pretty big buffet as you can see, and the theming in here is still spot on. You don't even have to go outside to get to Mandalay Bay on one side of the Luxor and then the Excalibur on the other side. I did walk outside to try to see if we can get a look at the pool, but it does look like they cut you off right away and you got to use your room key to get in. As you're walking from the parking garage to the hotel though, you get a little bit of an overhead view. I did find the spa and their fitness area. This way to the West Towers, and then this is where you also find their salon. Galleria Square. It looks like boardrooms, meeting spaces. I also see something here that says Stay Well meeting spaces. So they do have the Stay Well rooms here. I wish I had a good memory to know where things used to be, like where the Nile River used to take you, or where the talking camels were. I get these flashbacks in my mind, but I got to do some sort of comparing at one point to find where they were and then what's there now. They used to have a pretty amazing arcade at this resort. We would come here pretty often when I was young, and I would do the arcade and eat at the buffet, which was definitely a lot more affordable at that time. And just like that, less than 5 minutes, we are now at the Excalibur. About a month ago, we did stay at the Excalibur, and I did a whole room tour, pool tour, and showed you our experience, and I will link that below if you're interested in seeing what the Excalibur looks like. Okay, now it is time to head upstairs to the second level, which is the Atrium. I read it's the largest atrium in Las Vegas, which doesn't surprise me because you will find a lot of attractions, a lot of shows and restaurants on this level. They do have quite a few really spectacular exhibits in this hotel. Bodies, the exhibition showcases human bodies and our inner workings. They also have a Titanic artifacts exhibition here, which is one of my favorite walkthroughs. This used to be over at the Tropicana across the way. I've been there at that location. I've also been inside of here at this location. This exhibit puts you on board the Titanic where you can literally see if you survive or not in the end. Absolutely love this place. They've got replica rooms and real artifacts from the real Titanic. Here at the Atrium Showroom, they have a couple of long-running shows. We've got Carrot Top. I've never seen him. He's been here for quite a while. I hear he's hilarious though, and I would really like to see his show at some point. They've got Fantasy, which also has been here for quite a while. I have seen this show, definitely 21 and over, adult rated, but a lot of fun, lots of singing, lots of dancing. I did also see that George Lopez will be coming in November, so he's got a couple of shows lined up for the Luxor. We also have the Blue Man Group, who came over here a couple of years ago. They used to have a museum here with a replica of King Tut's tomb, and it's actually coming back, or a version of it, something similar. KingTutVegas.com. And it looks like they still have a ways to go, but that's pretty cool because it's definitely something that I think the Luxor can use. Very appropriate for this resort. I also keep seeing advertisements for something called America's Got Talent Las Vegas Live, which might have taken place at Chris Angel's show, because Chris Angel somewhat recently left the Luxor and went over to Planet Hollywood. Do you guys remember seeing Chris Angel do that like hover over the light beam? How do you do that? How do you not burn? They either used to have or they are putting in a sushi restaurant here. It looks pretty bare, but there's a sign here that says something bold is coming, just wait and see. All right, so someone's gonna help me out. I know a little bit earlier I said that I wish that I remembered where certain things were, and I have this feeling that the arcade used to be where these exhibits are now. There's something about this restroom to my right, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I even went downstairs a little bit. I don't know. I'm just having this flashback of this area being the arcade. Now the Luxor is rumored to be haunted. There have been a few incidents here, such as a woman jumping from one of the top levels inside of the resort, and a love story triangle that ended pretty badly in the employee parking lot. So people seem to think this is a top area that is frequented by ghosts. Alright friends, thanks so much for exploring the Luxor with me today. I still absolutely love this resort. I know I've never stayed here, so I can't say much about the room or anything. I feel like a lot of people don't like this resort, but it is budget friendly. Definitely keep that in mind, and it is on my list. We will do a room and night stay sometime soon. Until next time, please subscribe for more adventures in Las Vegas and the surrounding areas, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace!